Hey guys, how's it going? John and Susie here, and I'm so excited to share with you in this episode our Freedom 5 way of focusing and building an online business the way that we have over the last several years to create a lifestyle of freedom and income for you and your family. And good morning, Susie.
Hi, sweetie. How you doing?
It's good. So right now, the way we run our business is we've kind of expanded beyond what this foundational element is. But I think that so many people, when they're getting started, they see entrepreneurs who might be 3, 4, 5 levels beyond where they're at. And they're saying, I want to copy what they're doing right now. And I think it's a huge mistake. What have you seen about how people get started with their business?
Yeah, definitely. Because you see the big guys doing all the social media platforms, selling all the different types of products, doing all kinds of outreach, and they're everywhere. And you're like, man, that's what I have to do too. So when you're starting out, you're like, I'm going to copy exactly that. But that's not how they got started. And if you do that, you're going to get burned out very quickly.
There's a scene in The Lord of the Rings when Bilbo Baggins is talking to Gandalf, and he's like, I feel like I am too little butter spread over too much bread. And that can literally happen. I'm such a geek, right? But that can literally happen when you're building your business. You feel like you're trying to go off in all these different directions and nothing can happen. So in this episode, we want to share one of the elements that's critical in our book, The Freedom by Number, which you can get in the link somewhere around. But this one nugget is worth the price of admission to go through the Freedom 5, which is the way that we teach all of our beginning students and entrepreneurs to get their start. And it's the foundation of any successful business. And the reason why it's called Freedom 5 is it has 5 little core elements. You pick one and you go. It's a minimum viable product and it gets you up and going quickly. Susie, do you want to take the first one? Because you're so keen on this first aspect of it.
Yes, definitely I am. So there's 5 parts to this, but number 1 is serving one audience. It's very important when you put yourself out there is who am I going to serve? How am I going to help them? By focusing on one audience helps you tailor your marketing. You know what to say, you know how to help them. If you're going to go after everybody, you're not going to connect with anybody. So that I feel has been such a good part of our business that when we started, it was focused on moms. I'm going to focus on moms, people like me, people who I want to help. I can talk to them. I know their language. And that was, I think, a very big part of why this has grown so well.
Totally. So many people get started having a product idea in mind, not having a market in mind. And I heard this somewhere where it's like, if you have some food you want to sell, I would wait, like instead of having the best dish when there's nobody around to eat your food, I'd rather go find a place where there's a whole bunch of hungry people and ask them what they want and then go and cook for them a meal. You're
Yeah.
definitely going to convert. And so it's not about what you sell, it's about who you serve. And I think that's a critical first element.
So what's number 2, John?
Number 2 is to commit to a single traffic source, one traffic source. Now, what is a traffic source, right? Well, we covered in a previous episode, when you're walking through a business, you have a product and you find people to buy your product and deliver it to them, right? So the traffic is the people. It's the wind that fills the sails of any business. And we talked about the butter and bread silly analogy earlier. So often people try to be on Instagram because Instagram's hot. And then TikTok comes up and that's new. So let's dive on that. And oh, we have to podcast and we have to do this. We have to go live 3 times a day. And what happens is people are scatterbrained. The quality of what they do suffers because they're trying to pump up the quantity.
Yeah.
And it just dilutes their message and it doesn't give them any time in the day to focus on the other 4 aspects of the business. And it's so painful. It's a hamster wheel.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't be on all the social media platforms at once. I love that you said like the butter over bread. I just don't feel I can actually do that. Mentally, I get strained. I get confused and it gets shiny objects. I'm like, oh, I need to do what they're doing. Oh, but what about what they're doing? Oh, but this platform. And it's just really, you get stuck and overwhelmed and then you're not moving forward at all. But you're trying to do it all.
Yeah. Now, when we say this, we're not saying you can never do a separate traffic source. Like if you start with blogging, like, so what are some examples of this, right? Like, so you could do blogging and start a WordPress website. You could do a podcast like you're listening to right now. You could do a YouTube channel. You could do Facebook Lives. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but pick one and get really good at it. Because a few things are going to happen if you do this. One is you'll actually build a following in that one area. Instead of trying to go and post once a month on 17 different channels, if you post 17 times a month on one channel, you're way more likely to break into whatever algorithm or whoever you're trying to serve. You're going to get found and noticed and build an audience there. All right. That's one thing that's going to happen. The second thing is you're simply going to get better at doing that thing. And so if you eventually want to have a YouTube channel or something like that on top of your blog, let's say in this example, I would rather not learn two skills at one time.
Yep.
I'd rather learn and master one thing and then add something on when the first has become like second nature for me.
Yeah. So what I did, I focused on blogging, getting my traffic that way, and then growing that email list. So that's how I engaged with my audience. Instead of talking to them on social media, I talk to them through email. I am in my inbox. That is okay. I understand it's not the best business move, but it allows me to very deeply interact with my audience. So from there, from growing my email list so large, whatever second platform I was thinking about, I could just tell them, hey, go sign up on my Facebook page, go like my Facebook page. And then boom, the Facebook page grew. But because I had an audience big on one platform, I could then send that traffic to another source like, hey, I'm starting my YouTube channel. Boom, go over there. And then instantly that had like 10,000 subscribers because that came from an audience I already built.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, so that's one audience, one traffic source. What is the third one, Suzi? And I know you're all about making a bunch of offers here, so go ahead and walk through what you'd advise for some beginners.
What I advise is after you have that one audience and you're engaging with them and you know what they're asking for, go create that one product. Don't create 20 products. Don't create a bunch of different things. Create one amazing offer that they're going to love and then run with that. Don't think, okay, well, it's not selling. Let me go do something else. Maybe you can tweak it. Maybe you can ask for their feedback. Maybe you can have some beta testers and then improve that one product and run with that.
Yeah, we have not always listen to our own advice.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, none of this is meant to be like we are ideals and we've done everything perfectly along the way. Please don't misunderstand. We've made a lot of mistakes along the way. We're going through what works. And when we go and we focus in on this, it continues to work for us. So, it's really tempting as entrepreneurs. You have a mindset where as soon as you solve a problem, continuing to focus on that thing you've already solved is boring. And we want to go and get a new dopamine hit by solving a new creative problem. So we jump always from offer to offer, product to product. But what that creates is a lot of confusion. If you sell something once and then never talk about it again because you're on to the next thing, you have everybody in your audience that didn't buy the first time may never have another chance to do so. So I would way rather have an offer that you know is amazing. It's one product for you to maintain or to service or to help your audience with, and then continue to find ways of selling that instead of always having to rinse and repeat and create more pages, more sales funnels, all these things.
Yes. The more products, or sometimes not more profit, it's more problems sometimes. Yeah. So then, thanks. So then what is number 4? And this is like your specialty. Because I grew the audience. I committed to one traffic source, my blog. I had my offer. And then once John quit his job, if you haven't listened to that podcast yet, that was awesome. Thanks for explaining all that. But then what did you add to the business that just totally made it skyrocket?
Yeah, well, thank you. And it was all you. I just came in and pushed some buttons. But it's to sell using one funnel. Now, funnel, what is this word? It's over popularized and misunderstood oftentimes. Basically, it's the customer journey. How do you get somebody from maybe hearing you on one episode, on one YouTube video, how do you get them from there all the way through to being a customer and a loyal raving fan, right? So what that comes up with is, what emails do you send to them? When do you send those emails to get them into your sales process? Once they're in your sales process, what words do you put on the page to get them to click the buy button? And then once they're buying, are there any additional ways of increasing the revenue as well as increasing the results for your customers? And we can do that through things like upsells. Let's say they're buying, I'm going to build my daughter a brownie baking online business in a second. I'm so excited for that. Let's say you're going to sell brownies. Well, if somebody buys a pack of brownies, what might they want with that? They might want a glass of milk, because I know that's what I want when I get brownies, right? And then once you have the brownies and the glass of milk, they're probably going to need some napkins, or they're probably going to need additional plates to go put on an entire party and festival.
Weight loss book.
And
last one.
And then you get a monthly subscription to a weight loss challenge. But we're joking about this, but that's actually a really good example of implementing a sales funnel where as people are saying yes to solving a problem, when they solve that problem, they're opening up all new problems. They're not hungry anymore, but now they're thirsty because there's some salt in the brownie. So that's when you sell the drink. And so when you have one offer, one way to get them in, you can really spend some time and focus on optimizing how much money comes out of that one transaction, as well as helping your audience get further and faster through it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I see so many people when they're just starting out flounder around trying to do too much too quickly and kind of getting bored
Mm.
of, well, this platform isn't working for me. I'm going to do something else. This offer isn't working. I'm going to do something else. So what's the last thing that they need to do? What's the last number one of the 5?
Yeah. So just to recap, we have one audience, one traffic source, one product or offer, however you want to call it, and selling using one funnel or sales process. The last one is to commit, and to commit to that for 1 year. Now, 1 year may be a little bit long in 2022. It's really hard to focus that long. But the point is to do this because this is timeless. This is focused. This is like a minimum viable business model. You don't need to add anything else on. You've covered your bases here. The only thing that's missing is consistency and persistence, like those ingrained natural parts of you to see it through to its conclusion. So often I see people launch and go and they're consistent for like a month and they might be like right there before the breakthrough. Like, people, they call people overnight successes, but it takes them like 18 years to become an overnight success eventually, right? And I see so many people get to just before that cusp when they start to see the traffic go up, they start to see some subscribers go up, but then they see a new shiny object and they get distracted and they move on and it breaks our hearts.
Yeah, you're so right. Like I have a friend and she's so talented. She's super, like tons of talent. But like one day it's this talent that she wants to monetize and then it's this one. And then she gets confused on what to name it or what audience to go after or where to go sell it. And I'm just like, you have an awesome talent. Just pick one and go with it and get it out there into the world. And it's just that paralyzing fear of like, I'm not going to pick the right product. I'm not going to pick the right social channel or the traffic source and then never starting.
Yeah. I have a similar friend where it's notebooks and just sitting down. I'm going to plan out how this is going to be. I'm going to plan out the product, the offer, all this. And in this entire time of like a year of doing this planning, not a single piece of content has actually been pushed out to the world. Because the hardest part is just hitting record or typing publish or whatever your form is of creating, is putting yourself out there. It's that fear of failure. But the thing is, by actually doing something, even if in your mind it's not getting what you want, it's not failure because you're actually growing. You're getting better at it every single time.
That's so true. So I hope this inspires you guys that even though the path that we took is not perfect, it has allowed us to have this amazing life of freedom. That we can spend all our days with our kids. They're phenomenal. We both work from home. We do what we want. And we love to create content to help other families do this as well. And if you guys are interested, the Freedom by Number book is available. It's super affordable. Our audience loves it. And they come back and say that it's really like kind of mind-opening. Is that what you said? Mind-opening?
Yeah.
Mind-blowing? Something like that?
All the mind.
All of those. Eye-opening. That's the one, not mind-opening.
Eye-opening and mind-blowing.
There you go. It's eye-opening, eye-blowing. All right, it's a really good book that if you're confused on how this whole digital business works and how people make it profitable, then go check it out.
Yeah, you can get that by going to freedombynumber.com/book or click links somewhere around where you're watching or listening to this right now. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys in the next episode. We have so much more to share with you. We'll talk soon.